Budget-friendly e-bikes. Who are they for? Are they for you? And why I think you should have one in your bike inventory. Now, if you're really into bikes, you might be thinking, Mike, why would you even mention owning a budget-friendly e-bike? Well, I personally own several bikes that I've spent my hard-earned money on, and honestly, I find myself going over towards the budget-friendly options more than I do my high-end bikes for running simple errands. For one, I can leave the bike locked up outside my grocery store, and I don't have to worry about really big consequences if the bike actually gets stolen or something happens to it. Having a budget-friendly option kind of alleviates some of the stress whenever you go to lock your bike up. But not only that, a lot of my bikes are actually analog bikes, and I find myself saying, well, it's too hot to go ride to the store in my regular clothes. It's gonna take extra time. But with a budget-friendly e-bike, I know that I can hop on this bike, get a nice casual ride in, no matter what the weather, and not arrive all dripping in sweat. It takes a lot of the pressure out of either taking the car or taking a bike to the store. Having this as an option in my stable of bikes is definitely a good thing to have. Now, what qualifies as a budget bike? In my opinion, I look at a budget bike anything under the $2,000 price range. You can get bikes that will go all the way up to $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, but there's no need to spend that kind of money, especially if this is gonna be a bike that you're gonna casually ride, or if this is something you're wanting to try out before you jump all the way in. Let's take a look at a budget-friendly bike to give you an idea of exactly what I'm referring to. Now, this bike right here is the Kingbull Discover, and this is what I would picture as a budget-friendly bike. Now, this bike says it retails for $1,699, but most of the time you can find this bike for right around $1,100 bucks. And $1,100 to get into e-biking or to have as an extra bike in your stable seems pretty reasonable, especially whenever you see how much functionality this style of e-bike has in your daily life. Now, I've reviewed a lot of these budget-friendly e-bikes, and something that I really find enjoyable to ride, and also a lot of my family members really like, are these fat tires. You can find these all over the budget-friendly price point for e-bikes, and the tires that come on the Kingbull Discover are CST BFTs. These are 26 by 4 inches wide. One of the big advantages of having a 4-inch wide tire is just overall stability. If you're gonna be carrying a lot of stuff on your bike, or if you're just not comfortable on a bike in general, having these 4-inch wide tires makes the bike super stable. Not only that, the wider tire gives you extra grip. Also, something that's really nice about a lot of budget-friendly bikes is they come loaded with all kinds of accessories right out of the gate. I've spent over $4,000 on bikes that don't even come with pedals. Well, these budget-friendly bikes come loaded with accessories from the get-go. For an example, this one comes with fenders, both front and back. Now, they are plastic, but they do a great job of keeping water off of you if you ride through any puddles. And you also get a rear rack, a rear taillight that acts as a brake light, and you also get a headlight up front. These are things that you find on the budget-friendly line that you will not find whenever you start looking at the $4,000 and $5,000 price point. It's kind of weird how that works, but it makes these bikes even more affordable and justifiable whenever you're looking at your first e-bike, or maybe your third or fourth to have in your stable. Now, when looking at a budget-friendly bike, there are a few things that I definitely recommend you consider over anything else. Number one is gonna be your shifting setup. Now, the good news is most of these budget-friendly bikes come with a decent shifting setup already. Most bikes these days that are gonna be even under $1,000 will come with a Shimano setup. Now, this is gonna be super entry level for the most part. Like on this Discover bike, it's got the entry level Shimano 7-speed shifter and an entry level Shimano rear derailleur. That doesn't mean that it's bad, that just means that it's not meant for heavy duty use. If this is gonna be your daily rider where you're putting thousands of miles on this bike per month, this might not be the option for you. You may wanna get a higher end bike with a higher end drivetrain. But if this is gonna be your extra bike in your stable to run to the store, or if this is gonna be your first e-bike that you're gonna ride around the neighborhood, ride to the store, maybe take on a few small adventures, having something like a Shimano branded 7-speed entry-level setup will work absolutely perfectly. The next thing that I'm going to recommend is hydraulic brakes. Do not skimp on this whatsoever. Get hydraulic brakes no matter what. If you're looking at a bike that doesn't come with hydraulic brakes, it has to have some other benefit that you're really looking at, because hydraulic brakes are very important compared to mechanical. Now, mechanical will work just fine, but you'll find that you have to do a little bit more maintenance on them. And also, hydraulic is just gonna have that extra stopping power. And if you are new to biking, you're gonna wanna make sure that you have the most stopping power that you can get for your money, so you can make sure that you're safe whenever you're going down the road. Now, one other thing that you wanna look for whenever you're looking at these budget bikes are these screens. Most of the budget-friendly bikes come with these nice big screens, which makes it really easy to read whenever you're going down the road. You don't want a small screen where you're trying to squint at it while you're trying to go down the road, say 15, 20 miles an hour. You want something nice and big like this, so you can know exactly which pedal assist level you're in, how many miles you've gone, how much battery you have left, and also your current speed. Now, the next thing that you want to consider is the motor power. This one has a 750 watt motor, which is going to be ideal for if you live in a hilly area or if you want to hit higher speeds like 28 miles an hour. But if you're not one to hit high speeds, or you just don't enjoy the higher speeds, you may not need a motor as big as this one. You could probably consider something that's either 250 watts or a 500 watt motor. However, one thing that I have found, having more power is not a bad thing. You can always lower down the maximum speed, and you can also set this to a lower pedal assist level. On this particular bike, each pedal assist level only allows you to go up to a certain speed. So if you feel more comfortable at maxing out, say around 15 miles an hour, you can simply set this to pedal assist level 3, and you'll never have to worry about getting above that speed unless you're just coasting down a hill. So there's a lot of options to look at, and there's also a lot of things to consider. But whenever I look at e-bikes, I always consider getting the higher power motor if it's within my budget. Now, something else you want to consider when looking at an e-bike, and that's something that this Discoverer e-bike actually has, and that is a removable battery. Sometimes it's not convenient to charge the bike in your garage and you need to take the battery in, or if you're going into the store, maybe you feel a little bit better about removing the battery and taking it with you. On this Kingbull, you can do that. It comes with a set of keys, and you just simply pop these keys in here, turn them, and then this will unlock the battery, and then you can remove it and take this inside and charge it, or just take it in with you so you don't have to worry about anybody running off with the battery. The nice thing is that whenever you do have this on your bike and you do have your bike locked up, this will actually be locked into the frame and you can't remove it without the key. So looking for a removable battery is definitely a good option if you're going to be using it for what I would recommend a budget e-bike be used for. Now, the next thing I would consider whenever you're looking at a budget bike is the style of frame. By far, this is the most popular design in e-bikes that are out there. Any of the e-bikes that I have received, all of the step-through bikes seem to be really popular with anybody who's looking to purchase one. And that is mainly because no matter what clothing you're wearing, whether it's cycling clothing, athletic clothing, or just commuting clothing to get to work or to get to the store, these step-through bikes are super easy to get on. And also, no matter your age, getting on and off of one of these bikes that is step through is a lot easier than the step over. I find a bike that is easy to get on and off is easier to get out the door and start riding to my destination. Now, charge times are something that some people will definitely worry about. You want to be able to charge up your bike relatively quickly. One thing you can do whenever you're looking at your first e-bike is to see how many amp hours the battery has and how many amps that the charger charges at. Now, the Kingbull comes with a 17.5 amp hour battery, which is pretty large. That should get you upwards of, I would say, 50 to 60 miles on your average ride. Most people won't be taking them that far, so you typically won't be draining the battery all the way. But it does come with a 3 amp charger, so you're going to be able to charge this battery in around 5 to 6 hours, which is pretty fast. So if you're not draining your battery fully, you can expect your battery to probably be topped off within an hour to an hour and a half. That's typically what I've seen whenever I've ridden my budget e-bikes around town. Now, I took the Kingbull Discoverer out for a few miles to test it out on the test course that I pretty much test all my bikes on. and I found that the bike performed really well. I enjoyed the fact that the pedal assist levels are limited to how fast the bike will go. Not every bike is that way. Some pedal assist levels will just slowly ramp you up to the maximum speed, and the higher pedal assist level will get you there quicker. But with the Kingbull, you are limited to how fast each pedal assist level would go. So for example, pedal assist level 1 will get you around 8 miles an hour, where pedal assist level 5 will get you upwards of 28 miles an hour. There's definitely a big range in there, but you have 5 pedal assist levels to find the exact setting that works perfect for you. As far as comfort goes, this bike is extremely comfortable. It's no different than a lot of the other brands that I've reviewed between the $2,000 and $1,000 price point. It's got a comfortable seat, it's got an upright seated position. It does have a quarter twist throttle, which I do prefer thumb throttles, but I know some people prefer quarter twist throttles over thumb, so that's a personal preference. All depending on how you want to ride your bike, you may find that the quarter twist works best for you. I also found that the shifting, no surprise, worked absolutely flawlessly. And as for my hill test, this bike performed really well. It definitely hit above that 10 mile an hour point that I set for the standard for a good hill climber on this particular hill climb. If a bike can't climb this hill at over 10 miles an hour and pedal assist 5, I don't think it's made for hill climbing. This one had no problem doing that at all. Now, as for the throttle, it's definitely responsive and it seems to work relatively well. I typically don't ride my bikes with throttle only occasionally or to get me started from a stoplight or a stop sign. I'm the type of rider that enjoys pedaling the bike regardless of whether it has a cadence sensor or a torque sensor. It just makes me feel like I'm getting a little bit of exercise while I'm out on the ride. All right, guys, if you want to check out the Kingbull Discover or any of the other Kingbull products, check out my links down below. And if you enjoyed this review, make sure you subscribe and like this video. And also leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think of budget-friendly e-bikes, whether they're a good first bike choice or whether they're that good extra bike in your stable to run those quick errands. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. Now get out there and ride your bike.